Live.
Okay, welcome everybody to our first technology committee meeting as of this year. I'll ask Pam to take the roll.
Thank you. Committee Chair Yang.
Here.
Regent Jappanen.
Present.
Regent Santiago. Absence is noted, but he is expected. Committee Chair Yang, you have a quorum.
Thank you. I'd like to add two items to today's agenda. So one of which is to discuss the issues that we all experienced on December 19th on the board meeting. And the other is to talk about policy revisions. Can I have a motion to add these, or I make the motion? Is there a second?
You have a second.
It has to be
you
you.
have a second. Yeah.
That's right.
Oh, Ari's on.
Oh, no, it doesn't have to be you.
Hey, everybody.
Okay. Great. Any opposition to adding two items to our agenda? No? Thank you. That's the motion to add the item. Now we have to make a motion to adopt the agenda as amended. Is there a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Any opposed?
Aye.
Abstentions? Okay, thank you. Motion carries. The amended agenda with those two items is now adopted. Okay, I'd like to call for motion to approve the meeting minutes as of our last meeting, November 13th, 2024.
So moved.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Any
Aye.
opposition? Abstentions? Okay, thank you. Motion carries. Meeting minutes are approved. Okay, our first order of business is the introduction of interim CIO Michael Mundrain. Michael has now been in the seat for a little while now, but certainly is a welcome presence here. And I will ask Lloyd to do the introduction.
Thank you, Regent Yang. Good morning or good afternoon, Regents. I'm very pleased to introduce to you our new CIO, our new interim CIO, Dr. Michael Mundrain. I've known Michael for a few years now. We worked together at UConn, and I must say that he is a very talented technologist, and we're very lucky to have him here at CSU. Michael not only has a long history as a CIO, both at Berkeley and at Rutgers before coming to UConn and now with us, but Michael also has held faculty appointments as a professor of computer science and engineering. So we are very fortunate to have someone of his talent with us, and I think you'll see that he'll be able to do the kind of things that we need him to do, despite how hard those things will be. So please join me in welcoming Michael.
Great. Thank you. Welcome aboard. I think his stabilizing influence has already been felt, but certainly as this committee goes, welcome officially. Although of course he's already been working with us for a little while now. Great, Michael. Do you have anything you want to say?
Yeah, I would just like to correct for the record. I was a deputy CIO at Berkeley, not the CIO. I don't want to take credit for things that I haven't done. But thank you very much for the kind words. I appreciate it, and I'm looking forward greatly to working with both this committee, the regents in general, and the entire community at CSU.
Great, thank you. Just a quick review of our 2025 meeting dates for this committee. They are March 19th, May 14th, June 18th, September 10th, October 8th, November 12th, and December 10th. And this, I think, has been posted to the committee member calendars and should be on our website for other people to review. And that's just an informational item for everybody here. Okay, to the two items that were added to today's agenda. In reverse order that I introduced them. One is an update on the policy updates that were asked in prior meetings of this committee. So I'll ask Michael to update on those.
So there's two policies that I'm aware of. If there's others, I'm only prepared to talk about these two. One is there's a generative AI policy, and there's another policy called it's a standard policy for security. 004 is what it's numbered. Both policies I reviewed when I arrived. They were fairly dense in terms of language, and I embarked on an activity to do two things. One, I wanted to pull back on the language on them and make them more accessible to the community so that people, when they read them, would be able to understand them fairly easily without a degree in NIST or something like that, and also to validate them through the other CIOs and their CISOs and that sort of thing. Both policies have been rewritten, and they are currently under review by the CIOs and the CISOs, and we're making good progress on both policies.
Great. When do you expect to be able to share a draft with this committee?
I will share a draft as soon as the last set of people weighed in on them, and we've marked them. We cleared off most of the markdown. Will be in another week or two.
Okay, great. I know that comments made by some of us prior that we are eagerly looking forward to this. Certainly, I think we are overdue to have an AI policy out there. And any simplification, I think, of any of our policies is very welcome, because our goal is not to confound people with jargon, technology, or words, but to get compliance so that we can protect this institution. Thank you for that update. The other item is to discuss what happened, essentially a postmortem of the December 19th board meeting. So let me express just personally, I guess as a point of personal privilege, how appalling it was that people were silenced in that meeting. I think that was wildly inappropriate, and I myself was one of those people. All of us, I think, Ari as well was Sophia. Sophia was there person. Were you there in person? Right, so you weren't, but the two of us were certainly among the list of people who were silenced by this technology problem or management problem, combination problem. And it would be one thing if it was the first time, that would be bad enough. It was the second time in simply a year since I've been here, which is inexcusable. Now, we have a new interim CIO. This is great. I think that, Michael has already knows some of the things that need to get done, but I'd like to have this discussion out here in public, in full transparency, just to underscore how important it is to all of us on this committee and on this board that we fulfill our duties and allow proper discourse to occur. And this should never have happened and should never happen again. It is absolutely inappropriate that either regents or guests or ex officios or anybody, including members of the union who were silenced, were silenced. This is not appropriate, and it is the duty of this board to ensure that system office personnel are doing their jobs so that this will never happen again. So I'll pass this over to interim CIO, for your comments.
So, immediately after that had happened, I agree that was extremely unfortunate and not correct. And, we began a careful review of what had happened. The misunderstanding, ostensibly misunderstanding of that there was an expectation by people who were managing this that there would be no remote speakers was not correct, and certainly not what had been communicated during the setup. We've done several things. We've started a process internally of putting together the full set of I'll call it a reference or design document of what has to happen in preparation for these meetings. And we're also have agreement across the system that we will put an incident commander, so to speak, or an event commander, so to speak, inside the room for every one of these meetings. The person who is designated as such might not be the local person, because there may not be sufficient expertise locally to accommodate that sort of level of engagement. But one of the reasons we had to get sort of negotiate agreement across the system is because we will be tapping the closest person physically to engage in that activity. And that might be from one of the various other campuses. I'm pretty sure that the 4 CSs all have people who are capable of doing that. Obviously, I have somebody who's capable of doing that here at Woodland, but otherwise we're going to pull one of those people and put them in the room to make sure that, one, they're responsible for the managing of the setup, so that there's a clear indication of all the requirements, and that those requirements have been validated and properly tested prior to the event, and that during the event, they will be physically present in order to call changes on the fly that have to be addressed, and to do that as quickly as practical, and also to provide feedback to people in the room if decisions have to be made that they're not empowered to make, so that those decisions can be made as quickly as practical, and we can keep going. I cannot promise you that, and I won't promise you that there will never be a hiccup or a problem in one of these meetings. My goal is to make the incidence of said problems as small as practical, and to make recovery as quick as practical inside the room. And I think we can accomplish both.
Okay. But you also spoke about the fundamental miscommunication in what was needed and what was not needed. So I think this is a good answer. I'm sure other people in committee can weigh in after this on whether what their thoughts about of having an incident captain person. I think it's a good answer, but that would not have changed the miscommunication. So what is being addressed there?
Well, I think what would happen would be that the small number of people, relatively small number of people that I would say are qualified to run an event such as this, would have known and would know that there are going to be remote speakers. In fact, it's hard to even understand why anybody would think there wouldn't be remote speakers. And so, they would know that. And one of the things we're also doing is we're pulling together to help provide them information, a full set of characteristics that are expected. Central has already pulled together their notes on that. We're sharing them amongst, we think we're going to be the smaller number of people who are going to be, so there'll be a common understanding of what is required for one of these meetings by that person who's designated to make decisions on behalf of that. And so I actually would say that that misunderstanding wouldn't have happened if we had a person with one responsible for setup and responsible for managing the event at the time. If one of these people had been there, then there wouldn't have been that misunderstanding.
Okay. Members of the committee? Any further comments?
No, thank you, Michael. That was great.
Yeah, I appreciate the same. Clearly, it was a major issue. Michael, sounds like you're taking it really seriously. You've got a plan, support you in executing on that plan, and look forward to not having a repeat incident in the future.
I also look forward to that.
Great.
And I know that just so you're aware, this was not the first time that we've been through significant technology challenges. So the sensitivity on the sort of the region side and sort of generally on this is a little bit high. So just giving you a little bit of context from our perspective, that this has sort of been a ongoing item, and we had another pretty significant couple of snafus in a row. And so, promises were made about not happening again. So just giving you some context, but we've got new leadership and new confidence, and looking forward, like I said, to no repeats.
Okay, great. Thank you. Anything else on this topic? All right, well, that does it for our formal agenda. And before I call for a move to executive session, let me state that the committee will move to executive session for the purpose of discussing matters under Connecticut General Statute 1-200-6C. No votes will be taken in executive session. The committee asks that CFO Blanchard, CIO Mundrain, and General Counsel Bufkin join the committee in executive session. Additionally, there will be no discussion, action, or votes by the committee following executive session. The only action following executive session will be a declaration of adjournment by me. Therefore, allow me to call for a motion to move to executive session for the purpose I've described, and to adjourn by my declaration as committee chair when that discussion in executive session concludes. Can I get a motion?
Motion? Was so moved?
Second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye. Any
Aye.
opposition? Thank you. Motion carries. The open portion of our meeting has concluded. Please stop the live stream.
Your live stream is ended.
Thank you.